Welcome back, my butterfly kaleidoscope, to One Hook, Two Hands. This is Sarah, the creator behind One Hook, Two Hands. And today we are finishing up our Anne Boleyn square. Now, if you haven't watched part one, I do recommend going back and watching that. But like I said, today we're in part two and we're going to finish it up to make it look like this from this. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Sarah and I am the creator behind One Hook, Two Hands. I like to call all of my subscribers butterflies because butterflies bring me hope and joy, and each and every one of you bring me hope and joy every day. And kaleidoscope because that's what happens when butterflies land and take off, as you saw in this video. If you do end up liking this video, and you please feel free to flutter on down to that like button. Guys, I'm sorry, speaking is a thing today apparently. Or if you really enjoy this and want to see the rest of the series that we are doing, please feel free to land over on that subscribe button. If you are new, I have been doing a series of granny squares for the month of August because it's Granny Square month, and also my birth month, and I'm known for my granny squares that represent the musical The Six. It is a Broadway musical that I dearly enjoy, and I also really like that particular time in history, even though maybe not the best time in history. I do enjoy the history, studying the history of that time period. And it is a musical based on kind of a what if the six wives of Henry VIII were all together in a singing competition and to get the lead role in a girl group. So, and it's one of my favorites because the amount of history that they all jam into like each song is just phenomenal, and really enjoy it. If you haven't heard it before, I highly recommend you go check it out. But like I said, each square is representative of one of um the six wives of Henry VIII. I did start by making a Tudor rose square. Then we have Queen Catherine of Aragon's gold flower based on her outfit. And then for the Anne Boleyn square, she has this green and black combo together, but then she also has these squares kind of paneling down the front of her outfit um, that I really like. But also, one of my favorite lines by her in the entire thing. Guys, I'm sorry for the yawns. But if you're playing yarn bingo or yawn bingo, you're up pretty high now on your count. But one of her infamous lines from the musical is, "My sleeves may be green, but my lipstick's red," and I love that line. And so I had to include the red lipstick somehow. So what we're doing is we're kind of creating this top section now to emulate like the panels in her skirt and even her top, because even her top has some of these smaller squares. And I thought I had all of these woven in, unless nope, that's just tidbits that I cut off. Okay. Um but we're also going to do the red outline. When I did it, if you weren't on the other one, when I did it with this green, it felt a little more wicked than it did Anna Boleyn from the Six to me. So, but this was my kind of like test square. So now we're going to create that over here. So to begin, you need to grab your black yarn. This is Yarn Art Manhattan. It is, I can't remember what the number for the black is, but as you can see up close, it kind of has that black silvery shiny color, which I love because it emulates their uniforms or the costumes for this. And so it's just a really good look. Excuse me, for these costumes. Now, to make the square in the past when we used an H hook, we are moving to our G hook for this part. So you need to grab a G hook, 4mm. Put your slip knot on your hook and let's begin. Now, I actually do two things. One, I do this first little bit. Sorry, guys, I kind of angled that there a little weird. So the first thing I do is find the corner I want to work into. And I say that because sometimes there's a little bit of an easier corner to start with. Yeah, this feels right. Because you want to be able to hook in to this first um, corner either by making a good single crochet or being able to go kind of around the stitch so that it all looks even. And I think I'm actually going to start over here. And I'm going to do an around and under. So to make all of this, we're really doing slip stitches or slip arounds and chains. So like I said, you saw how I just inserted my hook, kind of like the reverse that you normally would around this post here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through two. And I kind of got our standing stitch here. Now you're going to chain three. Actually, I think, yeah. Now normally, when I first did this square, this is my first attempt. Yeah, I wasn't as happy with this. It looks good, but I'm still not as happy as I am with this one. So what you do is, like I said, you chain three. We're going to go into this right here, and we're going to make a single crochet. And then you're going to chain three. Because again, we're kind of looking at these to go back to what I said in the previous video. If you've not watched that, we are counting these. This is a corner to corner square that we've done here with the granny stitch. And each cluster here kind of creates its own mini square. And that's what I was going around in the first one. In this one, we're kind of going around two at a time on the outside. So I'm going to go to the, instead of coming over here, down and around, we're going to go up to this second space and make a single crochet around that. Now you're going to chain three, one, two, and three. And you're going to see right here is our next little thing, right? It's kind of our next little, and you're going to go, is the next one. But you kind of have to look at it, okay? You kind of have to pull it apart a little bit. You want to go around these two to make your post for what we're doing right now. Because you're going to go straight, because that's just one in, and make your single crochet. Now, as you do some of your other stitches, this is going to pull it out and it'll straighten up a little bit more. Chain three. Now we're going to come over here, but here's the thing. We're actually going to go down on this one. So you're going to come here and do your standing single crochet. And then you're going to chain three. One, two, and three. And you're going to go on either side of this. Make your standing single crochet. Now here's the thing. When you do that, this will eventually get pulled and it'll make its own little square that's a little more straight. Chain three, one, two, and three. Actually, one, two, and three. And now you're going to go around this post here, make your standing single crochet, and then you're going to come three, one, two, three, go into this one, make your single crochet, chain three, one, two, three. Now this is where you start to see how some of this works. You're actually going to go around this single crochet and slip stitch. Okay, Now, you are going to grab your scissors. You're going to fasten off. Guys, I don't weave in until the ends on this. It may get a little annoying in some spots, but it's definitely worth it. And then, because we're at this corner here, I am going to tie these two together. But you can see how it starts to get a little straighter. And the corners will pull themselves into place as we go, as you'll see. Now, the reason I did this corner first is it helps in terms of placement for what we're going to do next. But I'm also going to go ahead and come over here and do this next corner. So I'll see, just like you did this one. Actually, no. You could, but that's actually going to mess it up. I forgot about something. So you just want to keep this one corner here to start. Now, grab your red, your pretty red and black here that the camera is finally focusing on. You're going to put that on your hook. Sorry, I need to bring my example guide over here because a lot of this is sort of by feel, and you'll see what I mean as we go through here because part of it is trying to get this right. So in order to, yeah. So to start my lipstick's red, there's, you see this corner attaches to this square box, right? That's going to be eventually. You want to start your lips at the corner of this, the opposite corner. So you're going to make your standing single crochet here. Now, this is always the fun part. I always have to look at this a little bit. Okay, yeah. We're going to go straight up that one. This one, it's really hard to like write a pattern for because it's like it's kind of based on what you're doing. So you're going to go straight up. So from this corner, you're going to go straight up this side right here where you see my finger. You're going to go here. You're going to go around and make your single crochet. After your chain 3, and then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and go up to this next one. You're going to come around to the side instead of going straight through like we've been going up here. You're going to come around it like this. Now, this will be pulled on later, and so you will be able to get that attached properly, but there's the top of your lip. Now, you are going to chain 3, 3, and you're going to come out this way. And single crochet. And then you're going to do the 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Let me see something. Yep. Just trying to make sure I'm showing you guys right. And you're going to come here, straight across, and single crochet. Like I said, this is the part that's a little harder to explain to people, just like, so I'm having to show you guys because I don't necessarily have the words beyond chain and single crochet to explain what I'm doing. Now, you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to go up this seam. So you're going to go up here. And single crochet. Yep. And then 3. And you're going to go here and single crochet. And then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and go here. So again, we're kind of following this line right here, going around and single crocheting. And then 1, 2, 3. You're going to come down this. So we've been following kind of a straight line there, but now we're going to come down this row here. See this one? We're going to come here. I'm trying to make sure I do this right. I believe we want to do it there. And single crochet. Now this is where it gets fun. Because this is the one place where you're going to do kind of across a square when it comes to the bottom part of the lip. So instead of going down right here, you're going to come across to this one. And you're going to go, see where we are? Okay, here's the square. You're going to come to this side and under and single crochet. See how we're kind of creating that lip look, right? Now, you are going to come chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and come across here. Go right there, single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to come under. So I know, again, I'm kind of ignoring everything I just said about how you're doing this because this is for the lips. So you're in right here. We're going to come over, chain 3, and come over to this side and single crochet here. And then chain 3, 2, 3. And we are going to chain around, because this isn't a proper like back post. This is just literally doing a slip stitch around that post to create our lips. And you know what? On this color, I think I did a much better job this time around where it looks like lips without needing the line through it. So I'm going to leave this one empty. And you can, if you want to go across, all you have to do is just make your single one across. But I kind of like that. And I think it'll look really well without it. So that said, we're going to fasten off. And if I feel like it needs it later, I can just go back in and add that little row, right? Yeah. This is our yarn. So I'm going to pull through here and fasten off. And I am going to anchor it. And then this is the one place where I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch in my yarn, because this is the one place where it will get caught up and cause some problems when we are doing our stitches for our next part. And guys, I know thinking, but some of this is feel, like legitimately feel when it comes to this part of doing what I'm doing. Because there's not really like, hey, go to this spot, hit this one, hit this one, hit this one. You can make these lips as big or as small as you want. You're basically but if you haven't figured it out yet, we're basically using each of these little corner pieces as like anchors for whatever shape we're creating at any given point. And we are using them to anchor and do each one of these. Just a little update. I am filming this Monday before the Wednesday that I will be having my work done on my mouth. So hopefully I will be feeling better by the weekend. I am going to go ahead and try to get Jane Seymour um, square turned out for you so that um, there's not a delay in our publishing of the videos when it comes to the squares. Um, but definitely, I am off of antibiotics. I can definitely feel it. I'm already inflamed pretty bad in my face. You may be able to tell that in the video that's going to come out Friday because I do have a yarn haul coming out Friday. But now we've got our little lip outline there. But yeah, from here on out, like you will definitely be able to decide. Um, I will try to get all my videos out on time, but we will see as we go. Now, here's the next thing. So whenever we do this, we're kind of working just like we did a corner to corner square here. We're going to kind of work in that same direction with corners and such and squares, and you'll see what I mean as we continue this. So for this next part, you're going to do, like I said, the wraparound, where it's not really a, a I would say a front post or back post. It's just literally a wraparound. Um, slip stitch there, and then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to go make your single crochet here because we're making the next square up here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and because we're going across because we're making a big square. And the other reason why I wanted to do big and little squares is I think it better represents her costume too. Um, Maybe if I'm ambitious, I'll try to get an up close of her costume picture on here. But there we go. So that's 1. Now we're going to do the next one. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go around this one. But just like we did in the last one, instead of going directly across, we're going to go kind of underneath almost and around. Because again, these will get pulled up as we um do, sorry, around instead of straight across, because it will kind of get pulled up as we go and we'll make it straighter. You'll start to see that happen when we get down here. So you're going to chain 3 again, and you're going to go straight this time. See, straight, single crochet. Now you can see it feel like it's starting to collapse, but when we do around that one here in the next little bit, it'll start to pull straight again. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to go around this corner by going on either side and pulling all the way through. Now, right? Now you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And you are going to, we are not fastening off with a square. We're going to continue it. We're going to straight across. So here's the square, right? We're going straight across for this one. So we're going to create the big square that goes right here. So as you do some of these, you will be creating more than one square as you go across. And you'll also be using the tension from both to pull it into position. As you can see, this is already starting to act a little straighter. So 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to kind of come in under here. Single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go across, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to come over here, wrap around under, slip stitch, and now we've got our next 2 squares. Again, the corners are not pulling yet, but you can see where this corner is kind of pulled straighter, and you're going to fasten off. And guys, leave the strings. Your life is going to be easier if you yarn in at the end here. Now, this next bit is where it gets a little bit more fun. And I know you're thinking, what do you mean? Well, as you can tell, we're not going to be able to go completely straight across like we did with the others, but we are going to start kind of the same way. We are going to wrap around this corner and pull through, just like we did on the last one. And see how, like, when you pull through, it just creates that cleaner edge all of a sudden? Yeah. Oh gosh, except I just pulled it off because I was busy trying to show you. Whoopsie daisy. Again, around. Playing with too many strings, but you're going to slip stitch there. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go across. And guys, this is partially why I did it in 2 videos, because this part's a lot more complicated than what we did in the other one, but we had to do the other one to set up this. So now we're going to come on either side of that, do our standing single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, go into this stitch, single crochet, chain 3, go on either side of this. Okay, this is where we start to get a little different, right? We slip stitched around this corner. Now, as you can tell, we are now in small territory, right? Because now we have to do some little boxes here. So we are right here. We're going to chain 3 and 3, and we are going to go around, and instead of going through like we would normally, we're going to go around the single crochet here, pull through and slip stitch if it'll let us, like it's supposed to, around, yarn over. This is kind of more of a proper back post, front post thing. Now you're going to do 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to slip stitch around this edge, around our lip there to create this little box. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to come back around this one and slip stitch. And now you are going to fasten that off. Except, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it hit right. You do have to make sure you've got it. You know what? This one I want to do a little bit more of like a proper, give it to lay the way I need it to. Golly, yarn, behave, please. Now, there we go. I'm going to pull that little fuzzy off. Now then, you're going to fasten off right here. And pull through. And again, you will yarn that in here in a minute. Now, part of the problem is right here, I did not do the roundabout that as tight as I should have. And I see that's where my problem is, but you can kind of play with it as you go. Now we're going to put the next string on. We're going to flip it back to where we're going to come around this one, the middle of this square, turn over, pull through, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to kind of come around all of these and slip stitch as long as the thing decides to behave. You do need to kind of pull that a little bit tight just to kind of give it the way it needs to be. Now, partially how you weave in your ends is going to help straighten these up too, and I'll show you that as we go when it comes to weaving in our monstrous ends here later, because it'll help you to stiffen these up as also get them in place. So now we're going to come around this one and slip stitch here, make sure it's nice and tight here. Then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to come around this corner, slip stitch through, pull it tight. And I know these don't look quite tight right now, but they will look tighter when we get done with them. And then you're going to chain 3 and do another big square over here on top of this one. So 1, go straight across, yarn over, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to come over here, under over here, and single crochet if your yarn will listen to you, or you know your hands or whatever, depending on how your life's going at the moment. You're going to chain 3. I'm just doing a quick mic check to make sure we're all good there, because guys, this is the longest I think I've filmed one section in a minute. Let's see. Then you're going to single crochet here, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, stitch around, and now you can fasten off. Now here's the fun part, because we've now gotten to the place where you can't exactly go directly across, and it's a little easier to stay with this side and get it set before you bring these down, and you'll see what I mean. So you're going to put some yarn on here. And we're going to go around all of these. Okay, this is where it gets a little interesting. Like I said, you're going around all of those. And if your yarn will behave, you will slip stitch, pull through. Hopefully nothing's caught in a weird way, so you can do this. Ha! Now pull tight. Like I said, because you've just gone around like 4 different ones. Because again, this is all going to work together for the pulling of this to make it work. Now you're going to chain 3, 2, and 3. Now you're going to come up this one. I'm just kind of checking this for a second. I'm going to have to come through this side here, single crochet, 2, and 3. Oh, guys, sorry. We are going that direction, but not right now. You're going to yarn around this piece. And fasten off. So we got a square here. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to knock you. I'm trying to get you to where you can see this as I go without having to move you every 5 seconds. It's not working very well. Now here's the fun part. Yep, that's what we're going to do. And this goes back to where, I mean, it does feel a little bit like feel. Um, we're going to yarn around this one. chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet here, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Come around this corner, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Go across. Well, sorry guys. Single crochet, chain 3, come around the corner, chain, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet across, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. I want to move you back over just a little bit this way. Single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. And we pull across. Now then, we fasten off. Like I said, this is the part that's a little interesting and a little bit by feel because, as you can tell, a lot of this I'm doing based on what this has given me in any given moment. The easy part is doing the edging, guys, for this one. So, in order to do this next block, we're going to come around this one, yarn around, chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And yes, you have tons of strings. You're going to have to weave all these in. They're a pain. But when you weave stuff in, it does actually help you in the long term. So we're going to come around the red. We're following that line up. And we're going to come around the red. And we are going to slip stitch around it to anchor both the lip and what we're doing here. 2, 3. Then you're going to come straight across to this corner and go straight through and single crochet. Now you're going to chain 3. I'm trying to do this where you guys can see me and understand what's going on is the hard part of this. I'm going to come around the corner. 1, 2, 3. Go straight across. Single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Go into this one. Flip stitch. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Go straight across. Single crochet. Chain 3. Go over here. Single crochet. 2 and 3. Single crochet. Chain 3. Like I said, this one doesn't really have a lot of proper terminology, guys. Now we're back at a corner, so we're going to kind of do a single crochet through these loops here. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go around here. This is easier to do than try to teach, so snip, slip, anchor. And again, it kind of becomes this point of like, you see what we're doing. We are creating this. And again, if there's a way that feels better to you, feel free to do it. But this is just kind of how it works out for me. Now, here you can either do a smaller one if you want to try to anchor the lip right here. I kind of like it as an open-ended square just from a look standpoint. So I am going to leave it. Now, hear me, I could change my mind as I get closer to the end, but right now I like the way that it looks. So, I am going to do, we're going to do around this small corner, up and around right here. And that'll be the last one for kind of this side before we come over here and work a little bit. And that one's up, so we need to do through here. So what we're going to do, come around the middle one of this and slip stitch. Like I said, guys, it's a lot easier to do when I'm not trying to film this on this part. But I wanted you to see what's going on so you don't have this like, what are we doing? I don't know about that. 2 and 3. Then we're going to come over to this red and we're going to slip stitch around it. Basically, you're creating a framework, right? Of squares. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to come around and do a corner towards this way. Single crochet.
messaging me like every day. Couldn't be better than he sent me a letter, and who am I kidding, I was prêt à manger. Sent a reply, just saying hi. You're a nice guy, I think